Hello everyone, my name is Meghan LeVota. For those of you who aren't familiar, I'm an ENFJ, and today I'm going to be talking about some life lessons and inspiration that I have learned through the ISFJ. So this is part of a series, so go follow and go view some of those other videos I've done so far if you're new here. But essentially, I'm going to be sharing some insight that I have specifically heard from ISFJ friends of mine, and also just from what I've noticed from observing their worldview and how they view the world differently than I do. So I have quite a few family friends of mine are ISFJs, and so they've always kind of been around my life as the sort of people that I would say are just really nice, I guess. But I have one of my best friends from college who I lived with for a year is an ISFJ, and so I was able to get a perspective of more deeper into how ISFJs live their lives as opposed to just noticing them, because I think that it's kind of hard to crack an ISFJ to really know who they are deep down, because they tend to be reserved, not necessarily because they're shy, but because they're probably questioning whether it's worth sharing different parts of themselves. And so I think that they're a type that can tend to be overlooked as just being nice. You might have to ask them some questions about themselves to get them to open up, or you might need to get them in the right environment, a place where they feel comfortable, or talking about something that they really love in order to really get deeper into who an ISFJ is. So something that I've noticed that I admire about ISFJs is that they have such strong principles of doing the right thing. Now, I'm not saying all of them are good people. Whether or not you agree with their principles is a whole other conversation. But they seem to have principles that they live by, and they always will do things for the principle of the thing. Like, if they agreed to meet with you, they're going to follow through. If they said they're going to do something, they're going to do it. They don't do things based on if they feel like it or not. They really want to follow through with what they said, and they will do things and be like, well, I have to be the bigger person here. It's the principle of the thing. I have to do it. They almost view being a good person as a duty, which I really think is awesome, because I don't think ISFJs are generally incredibly reliable people that you can count on, and they take their word very seriously, especially as I would say that all FJs don't want to let people down, but ISFJs in particular, since their top function is introverted sensing, they have a very good idea of what their body can handle. They do not face burnout near as often as an NFJ would. A lot of NFJs, ENFJ and INFJ, might say they want to do something and then back out last minute because they completely burnt out. It's like, oh wait, I have only slept 4 hours this week. What am I thinking? INFJs and ENFJs might forget those things, but ISFJs have awareness of what they physically can handle, and they really don't want to overcommit themselves. And so if they've made a commitment, that's something that's very important to them that they will value. They'll want to be there on time for you because of the principle of the thing. If you are late or if something else comes up, they aren't gonna hate you for it, but they just live by their principles. They aren't saying you're a bad person if something came up and you're late. They just want to stick true to what they believe is right. And so they don't use introverted feeling. And so introverted feeling and an FP, they might do things based on their values or what they believe. But ISFJs, it's more on principles, because it's their tertiary introverted thinking. And they can be kind of self-righteous about what they believe in and how they believe people should act. But normally it's something that they've thought about for a long time. Since they are aware of their physical energy as introverted sensing, they don't overcommit. They're very good workers. They know what they can handle and what they can't handle. And especially like as introverts, they are kind of picky about who they hang out with and who they're gonna invest their energy in. Because I think like with SI and FE combined, all of their energy that they put forth, they think of it as an investment, you know, in the person, like an emotional investment. And I don't know, they're very honest people and true to their word, and I think that is amazing because I want to be more that way. I think I burn out really quickly. I say yes to a lot of things that I can't do. ISFJs are reserved, and then they might take a bit to know if you are a person that they want in their life or not. And they'll reach out, they'll plan stuff with you, but they don't, I don't know, I feel like it's an honor if an ISFJ wants to be your friend because they really thought it through before like deciding like that. They don't let people in that much. At the same time, they are like a friend to anyone. Like, it'll take a bit for them to get in their inner circle, but they almost view being nice as like a principle of the thing, like I said. So they might not mind talking to strangers at at the grocery store or something like that. Even though they aren't that extroverted, they will still view it as a principle to say, have a good day, or have a nice day, things like that. And I know that people that don't value extroverted feeling might be confused by that. You might think that that's fake. You might think, why are you saying all these niceties that don't mean anything? Well, it does mean something to an ISFJ. If an ISFJ is being nice for no other reason than being nice, it's because they believe that that's the right thing to do. And so they aren't doing it to get anything from you. They honestly don't need anything from you. I don't know if you guys realize that about ISFJs. They really don't need anything from you. With SI as your top function, they're very self-sufficient. Wait, I just remembered that I lived with another ISFJ. So yeah, I've had two ISFJ good friends. One of them, honestly, both of them, whenever they lived with me, they were the sort of people that would wake up on time, get all their homework done, always clean the room. And they also like, I'm not that great at cleaning, and I always felt guilty about this whenever I lived with ISFJs, was that I would clean up, and sometimes there'd be like a passive-aggressive post-it note or whatever, which is, I feel like ISFJs are so a passive-aggressive post-it note. Comment below if you're an ISFJ and you have left one of those. But they are kind of passive-aggressive, but it's because they really want to choose their battles. They know what they can handle, and they don't want to cause a fight for no reason that is just going to stress them out. They're picky about things. Like, they're picky about people. They're picky about fights. They're kind of picky, but there's nothing wrong with being picky. They're like, remember, ISFJs, they use NE and TI just like INTPs and ENTPs. And so they have this sort of inner side of them that is almost like an NTP. And I don't think that people realize that about ESFJs or ISFJs for that matter. They might look nice and like unassuming, but like they really can see through you in ways that you might not realize. They're just being picky about what experiences do they want in their life that is gonna make them happier. And so it's very simple. Like, they'll just use their brain power, their NE and TI, towards the very simple premise of wanting to be happy, wanting to have good friends, wanting to have a good relationship, and wanting to have a good career. To them, it's pretty simple. But they, yeah, I think it's an honor if an ISFJ wants to be your friend, because they really don't need you, and they, I don't know. They won't ever let you down. Like, I don't know. Like I said, they take their words seriously. I know I'm kind of repeating myself right now. What else have I learned? Oh, what I was going to say is, like, yes, I have gotten passive-aggressive post-it notes, but I also have had ISFJs be like, oh, well, let me show you how I clean it. It's not that hard, and like show me stuff and like not be bothered by it. Funny story though is like, one of my ISFJ friends that was a roommate, I was like eating chips or something, and she just kept looking at me. I was eating chips in the living room. Oh wait, no, I was eating chips in the living room, and she like came out of her room and was like, can you quiet down? And I'm like, you can hear that from your room? She's like, yeah, it's like really loud and gross. I'm sorry, like, could you not? And I was just like, thank you so much for telling me. And she was like, I know, it's my fault. Like, I'm just really weird about sensory stuff. Like, I don't know. And then she labeled like this one like disease. I don't know what it's not a real disease, but it's one of those like things on the internet. It's like the definition of what it means if you think that mouth sounds are weird, or if you don't like hearing people chew. She's like, that's me. Like, I'm weird about it. And she's like, oh, I've like totally judged people for that before. But anyway, like, I think that they're kind of secretly judgmental, but they aren't going to tell you it. They aren't going to like cause a fight, which I really admire. Like how they could be picky for their own reasons, but they don't have to try and change you or share what's wrong with you or anything. They just decide, what do I want in life, and can realize that that's like a unique thing, and then build their life around that. So I don't know. So some advice that I would share with all of you guys listening to this, if you want to learn from an ISFJ perspective, would be to don't give to other people unless you are filling up your own cup first. I think that a lot of ISFJs know this. They know they need their alone time. They think it's rude to be half of themselves to somebody else. Like, they wouldn't want to like be super tired and then like show up to hang out and then not really be there. So they would just way more likely not go, and they don't want to bail on you, and so they're gonna schedule out their life so that they have time to rest and that they have time to give to other people. ESFJs and ENFJs are very guilty, I relate to this, of giving before we fill up our own cup, because extroverted feeling just wants to give, and then we look internally. But ISFJs, you know, even though they're FJs, FJs, like, they might be in sort of, they still are like the caregiver and the giver and stuff like that, but ISFJs, they're gonna at least think about, am I filling up my own cup? Am I sleeping enough? Like, they're gonna want to make sure they like did their laundry before they go out and do things. Like, they want to make sure that their life is in order, so that whenever they are there for you and that they're helping you, that they're the best person that they could be for you. And they really are about service. A lot of ISFJs make great like nurses and stuff like that, because I think they really are able to get out of their own head and care for another person. So I think that that's a skill. And also, they're very motivated. They want to work on themselves. They want to be happy and safe so that they can be of service, which is kind of backwards. A lot of people aren't like that. Like, a lot of people, they are focused on themselves, and then they might want to be of service later. But because ISFJs want to be of service in this world is why they put energy into getting enough sleep and getting alone time and stuff like that, that they know they need. They know their energy levels. I would say ISFJs and ISTJs both know their energy levels more than any other type, but ISFJs in particular know when it comes to social energy levels, because that's what they're focused on. So an ISTJ might be more aware of what they can commit to for like a project, and ISFJs might be more likely to like spend all-nighters like studying for a test or something like that because they didn't plan it as well. But they're definitely going to plan their social interactions. They're going to make sure that they are up to speed, they've got their ducks in a row, and you know. So I think that's really inspiring. Hopefully that's inspiring to you guys. Please join my Facebook group, Personality Typology for Self-Growth. I'll link it below, and I hope you learned something new about ISFJs. I don't talk about them much. I don't know as many right now in my life, and I don't see as many commenting. So if you're an ISFJ, please comment. Let me know. I'd like to see if you're here. And comment, let me know what type you want me to do next for this series. I've been sort of waiting for some inspiration to hit me. So if you have inspiration about a type that I haven't said, let me know. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.